Why does it take so long to develop software? This is a great question we get asked from a number of our clients, and in this video I'm going to try and explain what the challenges are with developing software and why it takes the time it does. There are 5 key points I want to run through in this video. Number 1, finding a solution that the business needs. Number 2, the unexpected challenges that come from this solution. Number 3, higher expectations of software these days. And number 4, the increasing amount of integrations that are required. And number 5, the advances in software technology. I'm Matt Grace, Managing Director of Flying Donkey. Let's get into it. Why does software take so long to develop? Let's look at point number 1. Find the solution that the business needs. The first step in developing any software that's going to be good for a business is working out the solution involved for that business. Now, while every business is similar, they are different in their own unique ways. And this is why custom software is developed for that business. And we need to sit down with that business and understand how they work and why they do their work the way they do, and how the software can help them do this work better. This is going to take some time to work through and work out a good solution that's not only technically viable, but also sits within the client's budget. At the end of the day, we need to propose a solution that solves both the client's problems and also helps them move towards profitability while also staying on budget. Once this solution has been put together, we've got to estimate out how much this is going to cost to make sure we can move on to the next part in the flow. Number 2, unexpected challenges. As with any project, and not just for software, projects always have unexpected challenges as they come along. And this is no different with software projects. We're going to hit issues with existing software and how we're going to interact with them, as well as other technical issues such as source code issues, bugs, and other defects that will come along the way. At the same time, the solution we put together at the start may not be functioning exactly as we thought, so these changes will have to be made as we go. This is why the Agile approach has become so popular, because we try and take away this large upfront amount of time and try and spread it out over a longer period of time to make smaller iterations as we go. Regardless, these unexpected challenges do add significant time to the build, and it's impossible to know upfront all the challenges we're going to face. It's just part and parcel of delivering any software project. Number 3, higher expectations. Building software 30 years ago was pretty difficult for different reasons, primarily because technology was a lot more archaic and it was harder to build the software. But today, while software and technology is easier to build, the expectations have become sky high. And that is because nearly every person in the world now deals with software on a daily basis. And due to this, they know what they want from their software and they also want more from it. Let's take an example for a point of sale system that we might develop for a client. Now, previously, we might develop this system of point of sales on its own, just to do its sole job of being a point of sale system. That is, take customers' orders and charge them for their amount. But with software these days, everyone knows that systems can integrate together. So they might say, well, for our point of sale system, can we integrate our inventory management system? And this is a good idea. This is starting to add more complexity to the project. We now have to build 2 systems together to make sure that when an order goes through the point of sale system, it reflects correctly in the inventory management system, and that all the reporting and other triggers that are required in the inventory management system are also done and upgraded correctly as part of the wider software project. This does achieve a much greater outcome for the business because they have far more integrated systems across their piece, and they're going to get more value out of the software. But it's these higher expectations that mean that their software is going to take longer to develop. At the same time, software is also expected to operate across multiple platforms, be that mobile, tablet, and internet. Each of these applications are very similar but are slightly different, and again adds to that slightly higher expectation that we expect from software these days. We move on to point 4, and I touched on this previously, was more integrations. One of the key joiners of software these days is integrations, and the internet has really made this very possible. To be able to get the most out of your system, you want it to be able to talk to other systems. And as I mentioned in the previous example, having a point of sale system talk to an inventory management system is really just common sense. But what happens is, within a business, we find there's normally more than a couple of systems. And obviously it makes sense to join these systems together. You might have both an accounting package like Xero and some sort of ticketing system like Jira, as well as a point of sale system and an inventory management system. And you may have some other systems that you also use within your business. And of course, it makes sense to join all these together. But now we're going to have to start looking at how many integrations we're actually doing here. If we connect your point of sale system to all 3 of those other systems, that's 3 integrations. But those systems also have to integrate back. So you end up having nearly 10 or more integrations between all of these systems that are calling each other. This adds to the time and complexity to make sure all these work together, and obviously adds to the overall time spent on the project. There are solutions to this, and I have talked about it in other videos, but there is such thing as an integration hub or a custom integration hub, where you build a server that integrates between everyone else. Think of it as a bit of a star model. So if you have 4 pieces of software, they all integrate into a single integration server. That single integration server integrates back out to those 4 integrations. So yes, while you still have more integrations than previously, it's cut down on the integrations between each piece and made it a little bit simpler. The key point to take away here is, with the higher expectations and higher number of integrations, software does take longer to develop because we are building more things. 5th and finally is technology enhancements. Technology is still moving at a rapid pace. If we compare this to, say, the construction industry, which has been around a lot longer, some of the methods there are tried and true and are not moving quite as quickly. What this means is, depending on the length of your project, from where you start to where you end, technology could have significantly advanced. Now, there's 2 sides to this, and one side I want to touch on is the skill set of developers. So developers are going to have to be constantly learning all these new tools while at the same time delivering for these tools to the client. It's important to know that something they learned 5 years ago is probably not worthwhile now. Whereas if you're looking at the trade industry, hitting a nail or using a nail gun really hasn't changed in the last 20 or 30 years and won't change in the next 5 years. It's important to note that this constant improvement and learning does take significant time and does add to projects. The thing is, it is important to keep your product up to date with the latest technology, not only from a security perspective, but also from new features that came out. Imagine if you built a piece of software 5 years ago, it wouldn't have any artificial intelligence capabilities at all. These days, a lot of those functionalities are built into software, so if you take the latest technology, you're going to get them straight out of the box. As far as developers and keeping up with this, it's important to understand that because it's an ever-changing field, some developers do drop off and simply can't keep up with the pace. And this means there will eventually be less and less developers unless more developers enter the field. At the end of the day, it's an ever-changing race to keep up with technology, and these challenges of fighting the learning curve and keeping on the cutting edge does take time and does overall add to the project's delivery. If we're always using the same tools, we would get better and better at them, and you'd be able to deliver them faster and faster. But as I've mentioned, it's important to keep at the cutting edge of technology for numerous reasons. So in summary, I've classified why software projects take a significant amount of time across finding custom solutions for people's problems, the inevitability of finding some unknown challenges, and the higher expectations of software these days, as well as having a significantly large number of integrations and trying to keep up with the technology curve. These challenges mean that delivering software is not an easy feat and does take a significantly long period of time. Here at Flying Donkey, we deliver large-scale software projects for our clients every day. We'd be happy to help you look at your software project. If you've got any questions about software projects or need to understand more about what's involved, feel free to get in touch and have a chat.